But Manicka, I cannot add another thing to my plate. I'm already swamped with all of the things that I'm doing. What if I put in all of this effort and work and nobody watches? I literally cannot add another thing to my plate that's not going to put some money in my pocket today. Okay, so I'm sure if you've given any thought whatsoever to starting a YouTube channel, these might have been some of the thoughts that came up in your head because they definitely went through mine. But I want to encourage you to throw caution to the wind and really consider what this can look like if you built this asset along with your private practice. And I really believe not only would it be amazing for the impact that you can have on other people, your target population, the groups that you would want to work with, it would absolutely change the way that you show up as a professional, and it can be a brilliant idea for you. So you have the impact that you have with the people that you serve, and then you have the ability for it to transform your life and to increase your income. To me, that's a win-win. So I want you to think about how you currently use YouTube. Do you watch podcasts, cleaning videos, clothing hauls, workwear, how to level up your life, organization, planning, looking up recipes? There's so many different ways that we use YouTube. So I use YouTube all the time. I'm literally probably on the platform every single day. If I need to fix something, if I'm looking up something for tech, if I don't know how something is supposed to operate or function, if I need ideas for decorating my living room, or if I just want to listen to some nice music while I work. And a lot of times I could watch 10 or 12 videos about what it is that I'm looking for, or what it is that I want to do, and get lost in that time. I also like watching like marketing videos and business videos. I love those. And I'm always really thankful when I find that one video that really helps me do what it is that I'm trying to do, especially if it's something specific like a piece of IKEA furniture and I don't know how to put it together, or my dishwasher for some reason is so hard to turn on sometimes. But if I look it up on YouTube, I can figure out like what are the features, what am I doing wrong? I'm thinking I should just be able to press it and it starts, but sometimes it's not that simple. So I want you to think about that for yourself. Are there people out there who can benefit from the things that you know, even if it's something small or what you might seem is insignificant, or there's already 100 channels out there talking about this? Where would I be able to find a differentiating thing to talk about? Or it's so noisy and so crowded online, I couldn't possibly create videos that people would actually want to watch. But I guarantee you, if you garner up the courage to start creating YouTube videos for your practice, they won't sit as 0 views, especially if you have a strategy, if you follow along with the suggestions that I'm going to be giving you on this channel, because I'm going to be sharing with you the same thing that I did to grow my channel. And I'm no different from you. And the thing about growing on YouTube and deciding to add this as an addition to your practice, YouTube follows a very predictable pattern. That's where we get the whole idea of an algorithm. So as long as you understand the algorithm, or you're connected with someone who understands the algorithm, then you don't have to figure it out alone. And you significantly decrease the learning curve so you can get to your goals faster. So I would imagine your business or private practice, you're already serving a niche market. So you would want to, one, identify who that is, who's the niche market that you're serving. So I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to ask the question and then I want you to fill in the blank. So who is the niche market that you're serving? Okay, so you have your niche market. Does that niche market ask you questions? Do you provide helpful information and guidance for your clients to answer those questions? Do you think that there are other people around the world who has that same question? So that's the beginning stages of you beginning to realize that the expertise that you share, whether it's virtually or in a brick and mortar, it deserves to expand outside of your 4 walls, or to not be stuck in your mind, and to not be stuck in one-on-one therapy sessions. Now, I'm going to give you a tip. This is something that I normally share with private practice owners and nonprofit owners who I help build their YouTube channels. So this is something that can also be valuable if you decide to start your channel. So, let's say you do have a brick and mortar space. When someone comes into your waiting room, at least for my waiting room, before I started making YouTube videos, I would just turn on a random TV show, a Netflix show, a movie, something that really wasn't helping them build their psychoeducation. But if you decide to integrate a YouTube video in your private practice and you have a TV that's set up in your waiting room, you could literally run your YouTube videos while your clients are waiting to be seen. So you're really duplicating your ability to service your clients by providing insight and knowledge around mental health conditions, around symptoms, and strategies that they can use outside of the therapy session. And that doesn't even include the digital products that you can attach to your videos now. So not only are you providing psychoeducation, but then you're also giving resources for community members to be able to download those. And then once your channel is monetized, then you also have the residual income that you're able to generate from YouTube AdSense. And if you're in practice and you've been really thinking about getting away from directories because you've not been getting a lot of referrals, imagine if you knew how to use SEO, search engine optimization, to position your videos to get in front of people in your community who are looking for a therapist or looking for a practice or looking for someone who specializes in the work that you do. So if you were able to expand that out, like I said before, beyond the four walls of your practice or beyond your telehealth session, you can impact so many more lives. And the great thing about it is when you know how the platform works, you don't have to guess. You don't just have to throw spaghetti on the walls and hope that something sticks. There's a repeatable pattern and a repeatable process that successful YouTube videos follow. And if you nail all of those things, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time because YouTube has to be able to know where to place your videos. You have to give it time to know who to position your videos in front of. So the more videos you make, the more niche that you are, your videos can begin to come up in suggested or related search terms. And that's ideally what you want. And it's free. Just think about how much free marketing you get for your practice when you learn how to leverage YouTube and don't have to spend your time paying for a directory that's not working for you. And I know a lot of people make videos about psychology today and how to optimize your profile. That's something that I've been able to do too. So this is my Psychology Today profile, and I've been able to get over 18,000 views on my profile. If you want me to make a separate video about how I've been able to get so many views, I could absolutely do that. But one of the things that I did was I linked my YouTube channel to my Psychology Today profile. So I want you to do the most highly leveraged activities that you can using the knowledge and the expertise that you have. And then if you don't have the knowledge and expertise, such as what we're talking about in YouTube, then you can borrow the knowledge of someone else. And I would love to help you along your journey. So time is going to matter. Consistency is going to matter. Relevance is going to matter. And then the quality of your content. So you can't just throw anything out there. You want it to be quality. You want to eventually get a good camera. You want to have good lighting, and you want to have a great location to record, clear audio, and clear video. But I've literally been using this webcam right here for my channel since I started in 2018. So it doesn't require a lot. So if this is something that you want to integrate into your marketing strategy, just make sure that you keep showing up, keep creating the content, but make sure that you're doing it the right way. There's definitely a wrong way to upload videos and there's a right way to upload videos. And as long as you're using the right strategy, following the right sequence, your audience will absolutely find you. The other reason why this is an amazing asset for you to add to your practice is because it creates an additional revenue stream. So not only, I've mentioned this before in another video, you can add your digital products. So you can link to workshops, trainings, downloads, templates, ebooks, a physical book. So if you have an Amazon storefront, you can link to those books. You can mention those things in your video and then link to those things in the description. And the beauty is you can do this before your channel is even monetized. I am going to do a separate video specifically dedicated to how to make income from your YouTube channel before you're monetized. So before you hit your 1,000 subscribers and your 4,000 watch hours. And with YouTube being one of the largest search engines in the world, wouldn't you want a platform like that working on your behalf 24 hours a day when you don't have to show up in your therapy session? I literally just linked one of my digital products to a YouTube video that I recorded maybe 5 years ago. And the next day that I uploaded my product to the store, I had already received one sale. So I'm going to try to put an image up of when I created my store linked to my channel and then showing the next day how I was able to make a sale. It literally happened. I hadn't uploaded one video. I didn't make any new piece of content. It was videos that I had already created that are continuing to work for me whether I show up online or not. That's the leverage that you can create within your private practice if you decide to attach a YouTube channel to it. So whether you're a social worker, thinking about going into private practice, you just started your private practice, or you've been in practice for a long time, I've created a resource for you that I think would be really helpful, and you can access it right where you're watching this video. So one of the things that I'm doing for a nonprofit organization that I'm helping them launch their YouTube channel, I'm kind of functioning as the host of their channel. So instead of them relying on their staff who might not feel comfortable on camera, they're, I guess, hiring me to be the host of their channel. And then I'm going to create a series of videos for them that they can then upload to their YouTube channel. So this is something that I was thinking about expanding handing out. So if that service would be something that you're interested in, where I would be like the host of your channel, let me know in the comments. And then if I get a lot of interest, that's definitely something that I can begin to offer just to kind of get you up and running. And it doesn't have to be a ton of videos. It could just be an opportunity for you to see what's possible. So again, let me know in the comments if you would be interested in a service like that. So I hope you found this video helpful. I really hope that you consider adding a YouTube channel as an asset along with your private practice. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, or share. I'll be uploading more videos to help you deepen your level of self-awareness and to increase your competence and confidence in the profession. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, be well.